Reuters reports that thousands of Italians gathered in Rome on March 26 to demonstrate against the use of nuclear power in their country. Italy's government has said it will announce a one-year moratorium on site selection and building of nuclear power plants following the crisis of the Japanese plant of Fukushima. But Italians remain skeptical that the government will stop its plans. Today we want to let people know why nuclear power is dangerous. After Fukushima, we can only deduce that nuclear power is a dangerous thing, and we are here in the piazza precisely because in Italy there has been a moratorium on nuclear power for 1 year. But we were saying no forever, yes to the sun, no to nuclear. Italy is prone to earthquakes and is the only group of 8 industrialized nations that does not produce nuclear power. But Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi has said he hopes atomic plants can generate a quarter of Italy's electricity in the future. Berlusconi also has plans to privatize the country's water supply.
I think now the time has come to say stop, because after Fukushima we are on the verge of disaster, and then the fact that they want to sell water is incredible. We have to stop it. We have to send this government away because they are selling our souls. That's what they're doing.
The Japanese accident has reignited concerns about nuclear safety in Italy, where atomic power was rejected by a public vote in 1987 following the Chernobyl disaster. A national vote on the construction of new nuclear plants is due to be held in mid-June.
The Associated Press reports that this past weekend, tens of thousands of people turned out in Germany's largest cities to protest the use of nuclear power in the wake of Japan's Fukushima reactor disaster. Police said that in Berlin alone, more than 100,000 people took to the capital's streets to urge Germany's leaders to immediately abolish nuclear power. Meanwhile, organizers say some 250,000 people marched at the rallies, dubbed Fukushima Warns, pull the plug on all nuclear power plants. They were the biggest anti-nuclear protests in the country's history. Those things have to go. There are enough alternatives, and I'd rather save some electricity than to have those nuclear plants in our country, in Europe, or elsewhere in the world. The disaster at Japan's Fukushima Daiichi nuclear facility triggered Chancellor Angela Merkel's conservative government to order a temporary shutdown of 7 of the country's older reactors, pending thorough safety investigations. Officials have since hinted several of them might never go back into service. Protesters shouted, "Fukushima, Chernobyl, too much is too much," urging the government to shut down the country's 17 reactors for good. They also held a minute of silence to remember the victims of Japan's March 11th earthquake and tsunami. Police said that in the northern port city of Hamburg, some 40,000 turned out and more than 30,000 were on the streets in southern Munich. Cologne police did not provide a figure and referred to the organizers' estimate of 40,000 protesters there. BUND, in turn, said some 120,000 turned out in Berlin, 50,000 in Hamburg, and 40,000 in Cologne and Munich each.